Hello and welcome. I'm Lorianne Lumbee, and today is Tuesday, March 7th, 2023. And the reason I'm recording this video today is because this morning marks my entry, the beginning of my second Saturn return. I'm not an astrologist, but what I know about, or think I know about, the second Saturn return is that it is a time to revisit what took place during our first Saturn return and to anchor or be rid of what that was. And so for myself, I know that my first Saturn return, which took place between 1993 and 1996, was the time in which I became aware of my vocational calling. I specifically remember sitting in Mass in the choir area at the Newman Center at UW-Oshkosh, and the pastor giving a homily in which he said these very words: "If there's something you've always wanted to do and you haven't done it yet, get off your ass and do it now." As those words left his mouth, I saw a red brick fly through the air and hit me in the head. This was the beginning of my search, exploration, and formation as, well, for lack of a better word, pastoral minister. I've never really known what to call myself. But the journey that I embarked upon during my first Saturn return was a journey of self-exploration, education, learning, and being given opportunities to apply that learning. As that journey, as that calling unfolded, I completed 7 years of study in theology, scripture, spirituality, adult education, and spiritual formation. I completed 2 certificate programs, one as a pastoral minister with an expertise in adult education, and the second one as a spiritual director. A spiritual director in the Ignatian tradition. What that means is that I completed 3 years of intensive study in learning how to accompany, facilitate, and counsel people as they are moving through their own journey of self-development, spiritual exploration, and inner growth. In the Catholic tradition in which I was raised, being a spiritual director is a critical and important part of the life of anyone that is committed to ministry in any way, shape, or form. Priests are supposed to have spiritual directors. Not all of them do. Those that have entered into monastic communities have a spiritual director that they work with, and lay people have a spiritual director if they feel so called. I also completed training as a lay, what would I call it? I could lead liturgy services. So liturgy of the word with communion, which means I wasn't able to turn the bread and wine into the body and blood of Christ because, one, I'm a woman. Number 2, I wasn't ordained in that tradition, but it provided people with an opportunity for daily worship when they felt so called. Those are the things that I undertook under the umbrella of Catholicism. From there, I went on to become trained as a Reiki master practitioner. That was probably all told, a 3 to 5 year process of going through all 3 levels of practitioner training plus the master level. I also became a practitioner in Karuna Reiki levels 1 and 2. Fast forward a few years, and I went on to obtain my master's degree in transpersonal psychology with an emphasis in human development, specifically in providing individuals with the resources and tools to become self-actualized. This has been my journey for the last 30 years. That and raising 2 absolutely amazing children. So as I come up on my second Saturn return, it gives me an opportunity to reflect. Where have I been? Where do I find myself today? And where do I hope to be going? I would be lying if I didn't say that the journey of the last 20 some years, 30 years almost, has been challenging. While it was exciting and empowering, and I experienced validation for my gifts and my calling in so many different ways, I also experienced profound loss, difficulty, and challenges. I think the greatest loss for me at the time was understanding that because I had made a commitment to take Jesus's invitation and calling seriously, that we should be doing the work that Jesus has done in the world of teaching and healing, of preaching, of the way I see his work, supporting people in becoming their most authentic and self-actualized self. Jesus didn't come to enable followers. Instead, he came to empower future leaders. I took that teaching really seriously and angered an institution while doing so. So it was heartbreaking for me to learn that I was no longer welcome in the church in which I had been raised and through which I had obtained most of my post-secondary education. That's a wound that I'll probably carry my whole life, but I've grieved it to the point where I understand why. I have closure, and not sure if there's anything to forgive. Probably forgiving myself for actually wanting to heal the sick, free prisoners, feed the hungry, show people the way to freedom, their own personal freedom, and to support people in understanding that there is no outside perceived authority greater than the authority that dwells within them. That authority that Jesus called a boon, sometimes translated as Father, what some might call God, what some might call self or presence or essence, but that place deep within us where we know who we are, where we're called, and the journey that we want to embark upon in this life. The last several years, really since 2008, while Pluto has been on my butt, hanging out in Capricorn since 2008, I'll be glad when he moves out of Capricorn at the end of March. It's been a deep journey of transformation, of overcoming inner obstacles, peeling myself away from past conditioning, unplugging from the matrix, deepening and growing in confidence in my own inner truth, my own inner light, standing more and more firmly in that truth, and, as a good friend of mine would say, being okay with it. So standing at this threshold into my second Saturn return, I can think of nothing else that I should be doing than what I've already been doing. Supporting individuals in becoming self-actualized. Helping people identify the wounds within them that keep them from being free. Giving them tools to heal, transform, and move through those wounds. Helping individuals identify the conditioning that has held them prisoner and kept them from knowing joy and contentment and love and freedom in their life. And giving them practices and tools to help them move beyond that conditioning into the place of their own anchored truth. This is what I've been doing. This is what I've been growing into. And this is what I will continue to do. Because I myself have experienced the benefits of my own learning. It's not just in my head. This stuff is embodied. It's part of who I am, and I live it and breathe it and teach it every single day. And if I ever needed proof that this shit works, all I have to do is look at my kids. They are two amazing young adults that are self-actualized, self-aware, confident, and knowing themselves enough that they can be vulnerable when they feel vulnerable. And they know when to reach out for help and support when they need it. So as I'm stepping into my second Saturn return, I will continue to be Lori Ann Lumbee, author today of 11 books, creator and facilitator of over 30 online courses, facilitating 2 online subscription-based groups, and creating whatever else feels called to come through me. And my very favorite thing is working with people one-on-one, where we can really get into the nitty-gritty of what is hindering our ability to be free and happy and content and joyful in our lives. This is my wish for you, and it is why this is the path I will continue on for the very foreseeable future, for my whole life, if I'm allowed to do so. And I am completely okay with that. I'm Lori Ann Lumbee, and today is Tuesday, March 7th, 2023. I am standing on the threshold of my second Saturn return, and you can learn more about where I've been, who I am, and everything I offer at www.loriannlumbee.com. Thank you.